Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today in this space. My name is Lindsay, and today we are going to be doing a card reading on what you need to hear at the moment right now. What do you need to hear from your spirit team, whatever you subscribe to, right? So we have 3 different readings before us here. These are 3 different type of magnets that I just have on my refrigerator. And so we have awesome Aussie here, lively flavored outdoor nature with this Naruto one, and then Zen Kitty, be here, meow, where you can choose from these 3 crystals here. And this is reading 1, reading 2, reading 3. And the timestamps for those will be listed in the description and also in the comments. And I will see you in your selected reading. Hello to those of you who selected reading 1. Welcome. Thank you for putting your energy into this space here. So we have this one that you picked here. This refrigerator magnet is awesome Aussie that you picked. And then you picked this kind of rubbing stone, palm stone, worry stone. I see that it has a lot of root chakra energy attached to it. I see two energies merging, but there is a storm cloud between them. And a hot bed of lava between them too. I feel there's a separation here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get you a symbol card to start out with. And we're just basically asking what's we need to hear now. It could be simple, it could be a warning, it could be something just a little bit of advice they want to give you about a situation that you might be in currently. So we have number 32, the healer. We have stormy, number 21, and I did pick up a storm cloud in this. It almost looks like those swirly Japanese style, or there's also like a first it looks like a snake, like a cobra, and then it starts to kind of look like a pangolin. Interesting. Snake, cobra to pangolin. Cobra to pangolin. It's like you're, instead of being more aggressive and poisonous, I guess, or using a very potent poison that you could distribute, you're choosing more wisely to be on more of a defensive energy. So the pangolin's coming through is like putting up a shield, maybe on the defense of something. And I feel if you are a healer type of person, there is this necessary energy to discharge the energy that has been around you. That's the number 1 message that I'm hearing so far. And something is nearing its course of end with the number 21 there. Let's go ahead and get you a mushroom card too. So I feel like you might be in the thick of some of the stormy stuff, or the stormy stuff is coming up, but it will not be very long lasting. That's what I'm feeling. Also feel a sense of achievement too, maybe something that you've gone through after doing something difficult. maybe getting some kind of accolade for that. Okay, we have 26 with red cage capture. And number 20 with Scarlet Elf Cup healing. So we have two things about healing, two dynamics about healing. We have three aspects about the color red, going back to that root chakra. So I feel like we are maybe reprogramming something from our root chakra. I feel like this has to be a very rigorous thing to do, very continuous thing to do, something that you have to remind yourself of constantly, every little step that you take, so that you can really reprogram some of that deep-seated base programming. And from someone who's done some of that work, it is not easy. So I would say, you know, when this says capture, it's like, I feel like you have to take your time to locate it, right? Until you're like, whoa, you have to catch what you're saying or what you're doing that you want to reprogram, and then change that with something else. So it's like, I'm seeing it like that. Capture the moment, capture what you're saying in that moment so that you can heal that. And that might be a little parts of the difficult stages, but there is this healing coming through. I also feel like a cup is like something that can be filled. So I feel like one thing that can be filled from this is your ability to maybe even help others heal as well, or you know, you're just basically more of a balanced human being in the world, and it helps with lots of relationships in your life. All right, let's go ahead and get you some tarot. Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. So we got Ace of Wands twice, but then what I really wanted to see was a clarification on something I was picking up on, and we did get this Court card reversed, and it makes a lot of sense, especially with the posturing of the woman in this card. I feel like you had to go against something that was an old way of programming, because it was kind of, if we think about it like a computer system, okay, I'm just being shown like a computer system, and when you put in new software or you download new things, you have to clean out what was in there that's kind of the same thing that's running in the program. Well, let's say if you don't get all of it out, then it's maybe infecting or corrupting, or, you know, puts viruses in the new program, because it's like, no, I'm the program in this computer. You know, I don't know how it all really works. I'm not that techie, but that's it. That's the image that I'm getting. So I'm feeling that you had to separate from something that you were very much connected to, that was a routine, that was maybe a traditional thing that you did, And it was in order for you to stop hurting yourself, and there's like some lowering of your vibration. It was affecting you maybe even physically. So I'm just seeing, like, in order for you to get healed, you had to break away, have almost, I feel, a little bit of anger over the situation, and maybe even say some things that were like not your finest hour. And what was really happening is you were igniting this passion for wanting to do something that was maybe unconventional to the people around you. And you kind of felt, in some ways you felt like you were in this metaphorical cage from your past. And that is one thing I feel like you're healing from, is that you can't really be put in any kind of defined or definitive type of structure at the moment, because it's from those ideals, I feel, that hurt you in the first place. So it's like you can't really heal from what you got hurt in. So having that time and that space in between is really going to allow you to get back what you really need. And I also feel there is a chance for revitalizing. Okay, so I was hearing there was a motorcycle revving up in the background down the street, and I heard the song "Get Your Motor Running, Head Out on the Highway." I think that's called "Born to Be Wild" or something like that. Anyways, I feel like I feel like there's this rebellious streak in you, maybe, and you're like, I'm not gonna do what you want me to do. And I just feel like this rise in maturity, but yet at the same time, it's like hurtful words that you can actually say if you wanted to. I don't know if you actually will. I think maybe this card coming out with this card like this, it's like you have the opportunity to use this energy wisely so that it can be put in a very positive direction toward your healing, towards more reprogramming, maybe like getting triggered. You have this opportunity to like set this right and be able to know when to speak about something, because I feel like this is going to be really hard for you not to talk about it. Maybe this is a time you need to talk about something, but at the same time, it's like, how much energy is it really going to use in order to accomplish this? Whereas wouldn't you rather use your energy to, go towards your healing, go back into the passions that you have wanted to aspire towards? There's better ways to use your energy, is basically what this is saying to me. So it's like this storm, like I said in the beginning, it could be a short-lived situation. Sorry. A short-lived situation. All right, so let's go ahead and get one more tarot card to clarify the Hierophant. The stick here. Okay, 9 of Wands. Oh, it's interesting. There was a few readings back. There was one where I got the Griffin out of the Therapets deck, and it said, "Do you something like you think today is really going to be the day that you get defeated," or something like that. So it's saying that same thing here. It would take a hell of a lot more to defeat you. And a Hierophant, I feel like, is a pretty powerful situation. It's like the powers that be. It's like the ultimate standoff between kind of the man situation versus this new perspective or new idea that doesn't maybe have a whole lot of base to work with at the moment, or maybe it's just that you have to be the strong one in the situation. You know, there's not going to be a whole lot of people holding your hand at this particular phase in your life. I feel like there might be a lot of supporters up ahead, but at this time it's like you've gone through this battle, you've gone through many things, and you can still get through this next one. I think maybe even the worst is over. Like some of the worst battle scars you are going to be healing from. Like you're not going to incur any additional, really hard lessons and scars in this really next kind of energy that you're going into. And with the Nine of Wands as well, it's like this is such a build-up from seeing the Ace of Wands twice. So it's like you really had a lot of energy in the spiritual realms to build up to this. And it does take a lot to break free from that. It takes a lot out of you. Might even take some real time out of just your regular routine, your regular life, the way that you've done things, because now you're going on more of a spiritual deep dive. You're going on maybe even a physical journey, metaphorical and physical. You might even have to learn some things, visit some gurus, get involved in some more spiritual and more earth connected type healing work, bringing you back more to who you kind of were before you had all the programming placed embedded in your root chakra. Okay, let's get one more message here on this Queen of Swords reversed, please. Oh, too many. Oh, okay. If this is a relationship situation and both of you are kind of imbalanced at the moment because there is some kind of change that has been coming up that has disrupted the comfortability of your security together, and therefore this is a test, and this test involves, are you going to level up in this argument, or are you going to see yourselves getting really off balance in the situation and being kind of saying the worst things to each other? It's just yeah, and from a place of knowing what to say, but also I feel like with this double Ace of Wands, if I didn't have these little I love these cards and I love the sayings, but I want to not see those. But what I'm seeing from this intuitively as well is that this is like a naughty situation. Like the swords aren't really, I feel, the affectionateness of the suits, but they, upside down, I feel like they could kind of be promiscuous or maybe dishonest about the way that they go about getting into maybe extramarital situations, or maybe even, I don't know, for some reason I'm hearing tricking someone that says that they're platonic into having a physical relationship with them, but like doing it in a way like, yeah, totally, I'm there too, and you're just like friends and you're talking about topics that you're really interested in. And then, I feel like things have to build up though. When these are reversed, it's like I'm also feeling like a clumsiness with words and this nerdiness coming through. It's like they kind of nerd out individually on stuff that they really like, and that's kind of a defense mechanism or whatever, and like a nervousness tactic. But then it kind of makes the conversation go, and it splits off into two directions, and it's maybe difficult to come back to getting that passion back. So if any of you are resonating with that particular story, a healing of a relationship, I do feel like renewing vows is coming through here with the Hierophant. And I can liken this to the Nine of Wands as a couple. For a couple, is like, we've been through a lot together. Is this going to be the thing that breaks us up? You know? Or can we get past that kind of thing? Because I feel like these two wands, it's like reigniting the energy for both of you in the situation. And maybe not to think all up in our heads so much about it. I think maybe having some time to relax and have some downtime, way not talking about work or money. You know, maybe even like designing the conversation. That's what I'm seeing with this, being more strategic in the conversation, to align yourself to where the answers and the questions are going to go before you actually just kind of go into it. Because I feel like both of you are very educated and have a lot to say. And in a stage of nervousness, that could kind of get away from you, and you're having two different conversations. So that's kind of all I see. That could be also part of the healing and the reprogramming. Maybe, you know, you had some difficulties with socialization from just not learning how to do it very well. You maybe had some examples of some parental figures in your past that had social anxiety or an awkwardness to them, and that was like your base of what you learned from. But oddly enough, I find that sometimes children with awkward parents are like the cool kid, because they're always like trying to compensate for their parent being a doof. I don't know, that's just like what I've analyzed with, you know, my frame of view. But yeah, those are the messages that are coming through. So I hope you have enjoyed this reading. I know I have, and hope some of the kinks can get worked out. And I just feel like also opening yourself up to being able to change, just getting more relaxed, because in order to reprogram this such deep rooted type of energy and programming, you have to be able to relax. You got to unclench it, because it's deep down in there. It's, you know, in those parts of us where we clench sometimes when we're sitting still, or when we're in a group of people, or, you know, when someone at the grocery store scary passes by us. You know, that area needs to be relaxed and be receptive for change. So that is the last message. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope all of you, lots of good energy coming your way, and getting through all of this storminess that is around you just fine. I feel that it is going to be okay. All right. Come join me again. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to those of you who selected card number 2, or magnet number 2 with Naruto and this little clear quartz crystal. All right. So yeah, that's interesting. In the last reading, I saw these kind of clouds in the crystal that they had. It's very interesting. All right. So right now we're looking at when you need to hear, what you need to hear, if there's any timing on anything for you. This is going to be a timeless reading though, but what do you need to hear as far as when you're seeing this from now till then? Or just what do you need to hear right now? 4 of Swords. Yeah, you need a rest. I do feel like this gives me on the defensive, like ready to go. The 4 of Swords also speaks of being after battle, so I feel like it's like, when are you gonna take the time to rest here? I feel like you've really accomplished a lot. You've climbed a lot of mountains, and now it's time to sit down with some books and have some tea and rest. Maybe spend some time in some clothing that is very designed for being around the house. Also seeing that as like a specific timing, as like a winter. Like it looks like she's really trying to be warm. The Four of Swords also gives me on the defensive. Like I feel like you're concerned about something to do with something in court or something that's taking a long period of time. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. Definitely feel like you've been under a lot of stress as far as some kind of work situation is concerned. And there is a need for resting to kind of rejuvenate so that you can spring forward a little farther. Because right now you're kind of in a sludge period of time. Yeah. It's definitely time to weigh out your odds. That's what I heard from that right away. But stick to your truth and everything will turn out just fine with that card. Yeah, with this little thing that you picked, so many like codes and rules and kind of like these spells that they do to do this jutsu or whatever. I don't know. My son and my partner watches it. So, and I'm designing a room. I'm feeling like that too, like maybe you're doing something around the house also because you're preparing for something. Because this reading's kind of giving me the energy of like a waiting period of time, but yeah, like make sure that you rest so you don't burn yourself out. And it's like this card is giving me like, what are you doing this for? I don't know. Some more clarifiers, let me clarify the Justice card. Page of Cups reversed. So there's something to do with a relationship that has a little bit of immaturity to it, where I feel like someone is slowing you down. Someone is maybe imbalanced in their words, so that's actually making your physical abilities or the things that you do, it's upping them, like it's making you go into, someone is in balance and therefore it's throwing you off balance is kind of what I'm feeling here. And there's this sensitivity. I feel like maybe there's also a child involved that is a part of this as well. They could be acting out emotionally, having some, maybe I'm also seeing like disturbing art, like drawing strange pictures of things that you're like, oh yeah, let's put that one in the drawer, that's for the special ones. We're not going to put that one on the refrigerator today. But also I feel just like there's some kind of karmic balance that hasn't been righted just yet, and you're about to get your justice about this, and what that's going to do is rejuvenate your spirit of really your ability to be in love with the world again, just being able to find creativity and beauty in everything that is created, just being in awe and wonder in the world. Like I feel like sometimes we have to remind ourselves of that, or things that happen to us kind of push us into that energy. But right now I feel like you're in the stage where something that's going on, maybe even legally, is just kind of flipped your energy upside down. And if this is a relationship, like I'm also feeling like maybe someone had to do some jail time. That's what that's giving me. And someone else had to maybe get another job or work harder, get more hours at work. Yeah. I feel like the Knight of Swords, you know, they can be quick to swing out that sword. Like I feel like it's the tongue, and sometimes your words can get you in trouble way before your actions. And in fact, in spite of, sometimes like you could run your mouth about something you didn't even do and actually get in, you know, put in the hot seat because they're like, someone said you did this, but it's like, yeah, I said that I did that, but I was, you know, I didn't mean it. But that's what I kind of feel like. I feel like someone's saying something that they didn't really mean, and they kind of got in trouble for it. I'm seeing that maybe even this had to do with a child, maybe even multiple children, or maybe if this is a love situation or a marriage, that maybe the husband in the situation is getting very imbalanced and saying a lot of hurtful things, and it's affecting the children. Oh, it's kind of what I'm picking up there. But let's go ahead and get more messages here from this deck. What do I need to hear right now? So we have 19 death cap endings and 30 parrot wax cap isolation. Okay. Parrot is giving me some repeating, like saying things that they're not supposed to say, that they're repeating from some other source. So if that's, you know, isolation. Yeah, going back to that message about something in jail, it's like, be careful about what you say because you could be put in isolation. Death cap ending. So I also feel like maybe there's something about, you know, a new phase, a new cycle. I feel like the number 19 is showing me that despite some of the tumultuousness about this, there is a positive outcome. There is something to be noticed, celebrated. I know sometimes a bad can equal a good. You get out of a situation that's not that great. You can't really say anything's better than this, but you can say that something different could be better. And then you just gotta work with that. Symbol here. Grounded. Okay. So I feel that also is just really hunker down, get to work, establish something, be able to rest, you know, I feel like grounding is a need for rest as well. All right, yeah, something's definitely ending and transforming in your life. You might even have had a actual death in the family, or a death of a loved one or someone at battle. So I also am picking up on military. Someone in the military had passed away. Yeah, in this reading, it's giving me like someone that you're close to. It might not have been recently. It might have been a while ago. I'm feeling like an old war. Your grandfather or something. Let's just see. since that came out, before we get into the other stuff. What did they like to say? What would they like to say? Slowly but surely, you are going places. All right. Yeah. You have been pacing yourself. Yeah. I feel like then that card really gives me about boundaries. You know, putting an end to where people can travel within your mental space or your physical space or whatever. I just feel like, you know, there's got to be a boundary about where people that are in your life can go, you know, and that's how we can respect each other and spend time with each other for long periods of time. And if we don't honor those things, then it kind of gives a runaway situation, and then it makes someone else make a roadmap for you. And then you're going to get lost in the decisions of someone else, I feel here. So the Knight of Pentacles also gives me that you've been tasked with a lot of responsibility that is associated with something. This could be parenthood. This could be, I mean, even hearing like an older child that has to be more responsible for the other kids, or that's what's coming through. Maybe this grandfather was telling you that's what happened to him and he knows it happened to you. And what happens in that is that you forget to honor yourself, you forget to honor your boundaries, and we sometimes can get stopped in our tracks and not really make a lot of progress along the way, and it might be a really slow road if we don't drop some of the weight that we're carrying along the way. And some of that weight, I feel, is about having the courage, you know, lightening up, being positive, and pushing through some of the more negative, and I'm hearing like spiraling thoughts, or, you know, thoughts that just don't stop, running thoughts. Because the Knight of Pentacles doesn't really want to have that. I'm feeling like this isolation also. I'm seeing her out in nature. Maybe there is some connection with that. I need to get in touch with that. The Four of Cups, try not to be so picky, okay? So I just feel like if I'm going to order up, you know, my perfect scenario, you can't really put a label on it. And there's just so much information out there these days that it's really easy to be in this energy. This card comes up a lot for me because I feel like there is a general meh energy on the world. Like there's just a lot of people that are kind of don't care and have given up and don't really want to do anything. Really put too much pressure on ourselves or be too hard on ourselves over the fact that we have so many options before us and yet we still can't pick. It's like we're not spoiled brats, we're just given too many options. So that's one of the parts of the advice, is narrowing the options. You know, canceling out, process of elimination. Cancel out the ones that you know are a no, and only answer the ones that are yes. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier. And then even if it's hard to pick and hard to choose where you're going to go from there, decide from a place of something that's kind of a little bit outside of what you've picked before. You know, don't be so definitive about, oh, you have to have this. And if this is a relationship, put an end to the type. You know, go and try to date someone totally different. I mean, it will change your perspective, and maybe not be, we don't have the Judgment card here, but I feel like the Knight of Swords can really throw in quite a bit of judgment. I feel like this card's, you know, kind of about judgment as well, because it's being stripped of what we are in order to mingle two energies together. So it's this vulnerable point. All right. So I guess also this is asking you to be vulnerable. Maybe come out of isolation. Come out of the idea that everything has to be perfect. Yeah, if you have Libra energy in your chart or Gemini, I feel there's this really intense pickiness that comes with, but sometimes the choices that you end up making, it's like you're gonna have a big justification for that or all these excuses or reasons why, but I feel like you might choose someone that is more of a scapegoat for you instead of a person that is going to be someone that really rides with you. And that's kind of maybe part of the dissatisfaction. And that comes from a place of not feeling grounded enough in where you are around, and maybe not even feeling that secure with your living situation or the way you do things. Because I feel like this erratic movement in the Knight of Swords is telling me we don't really know which direction to go in. And I had kind of had that like metaphor for the map of the boundaries within you. And it's kind of showing me that as well. It's like knowing your territory and feeling comfortable in that. You know, being able to spend some time in a space for longer than any other place you've been also is what's coming through. All right, well, that is all I have for you today in this particular reading. Thank you so much for joining me in this space. And if you feel so called and you'd like to come and see me again, I would just love that. I would love to have more energy, help me build my channel, give me a thumbs up, and maybe subscribe if you are interested in seeing more content like this. Okay? All right, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. Hello to those of you who selected group 3 with this magnet here, the Zen Kitty. Be here, meow. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and ask, the cards here and the energies that I'm vibing with today. What do we need to know right now? What's the message? Is there anything particular that we need to know? So we're gonna go ahead and shuffle this deck out first. So I've ruminated on this quite a bit. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta have that, because that's been like a thing for me for years. I tell myself that, and I feel like I'm getting too far ahead in the future in my mind, or too bogged down in the past, or, nostalgic in the past. Like it's, ruining the present moment. I always tell myself, just be here now. That's it. Just be here now. What is happening now? What are some of the things around you that you could think of or you could participate in being like fixed or something too? Because sometimes when we spend too much time in those other realms, we forget to take care of the things that are around us, and then it kind of creates like this drag on the energy and a sadness of the energy. And we might not even realize that's happening because we're trying to plan, we're trying to think of things, we're trying to strategize. So, yeah. And you picked that crystal as well, very healing crystal. This yellow color showing me you have a lot of sacral chakra ability, you have a lot of pride in what you do. I feel whatever it is that you do. I have the 6 of Swords here. So all aboard, witch. It's time to write a new chapter. Okay. I feel like that's giving me being in the future. Planning for the future, being in the future, moving in the future in your mind, and then actually this card does speak of physical travel as well. So it's like you still have to go there first in your mind. So where are you? Are you going to fully be present in the moment? Are you moving timelines? What are you doing? Like where's your foot going? Is it, because it needs to go and be out of the doorway. I feel like you're in this doorway. Okay. Ace of Cups. Three of Wands. Yeah, Three of Wands. Yeah, I feel like you're... I feel like you're acquiring the goods. I see her with this piece of paper, and this looks like she's outside the gate here by this like mailbox thing. And it's like she's waiting for her order, and she's going to double check it on the paper that she has because she's waiting for a big order, and she wants to make sure all the things that she got on that order, she's going to check off all of them and make sure that those items were delivered to her. It says, put yourself out there and you'll be rewarded one way or another. And yeah, that Ace of Cups is just so much potential. Lots of potential in this next phase. I feel that being here now, too, is going to help. You know, it's like, let's really just sit down, be real with ourselves. Let's make sure that we do everything that's necessary to start this new thing. I feel like this is a new, passionate thing. You feel like you've probably been planning for this. You've had to leave something behind, but you have been planning for this. You have communications elsewhere. You have things lined up elsewhere. Also, this is giving me self-made. Self-made. I'm hearing that. Five of Wands. I heard, as soon as I said self-made, I feel like, and then back home, I see this. Meanwhile, back where the place that you came from, there's some arguments going on. I don't know. But here we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups, like I said before in group one, this one kind of follows me around. It's like the pouty girl card. Like, man, I'm not happy with anything. But still, keep trying. You want to turn this frown upside down, trust me. So I feel like you're going at your own pace. There's a time to really get clear in your mind, know what you want, establish what you want. The Seven of Pentacles is saying, is there anything else that you feel like you can do from this point? Well, then take a time out and just really bask in the rewards that it comes with, that feeling, that accomplishment of at least putting in some effort and seeing something come out of it. And at this point, I feel what's going to come out of it is all this work that you've done up till now, all these thoughts and theories and notebooks about what you want to do, and then getting the order, the shipment or whatever that's coming in, so that you can maybe start this new passionate thing that's brewing with potential. And then you can really sit back and feel real secure, because I feel like this is just kind of elevating. It's like you are going to be doing this work. You know, you don't have to involve yourself in this pettiness. I feel like there's these petty arguments, something from back at home or something like this. I'm feeling just a lot of family stuff with that just feels like I just don't even want to deal with that right now. Like let them work that out, I feel is kind of coming through. All right, let's go ahead and get you some symbol cards. What does that selected group 3 need to hear at this time? Your spirit guides and such. What would they like to tell you? Divine masculine relief. And we have the healer again. I believe that came out for group number 1. The healer. Yeah, I'm feeling like maybe there is some type of healing practice or something like that as well. This Ace of Cups is giving me, you've done a lot of self-healing, self-help, and you bring a lot of relief to people. Maybe even you take that masculine energy and you really balance it out. You don't let it get too out of hand for people. I'm also feeling like there's at least, you know, one person that needs to hear that they're a masculine watching this, and that they are a relieving healer to someone. They provide a lot of care for someone and maybe even teach others how to do self-care for themselves. Because, you know, we talk about feminine energy and how it's like you sit back and you're receptive, but really there is a lot of masculinity to all the action that we take to beautify ourselves, you know. So a balanced masculine would be a really good person, you know, to teach these principles of taking care of yourself. So I'm feeling like that, if that is the case for one of you watching. And maybe you've had a lot of dissatisfying careers and things, ways of making money in the past, and they just didn't bring you that satisfaction that you get when, you know, you've planned this out yourself. It's your own baby, it's your own dream, it's your own thing. Maybe even I'm seeing this like, this is my business. This one too, it's like I've created my own business, and I feel like you've been dissatisfied in the past, you're gonna be dissatisfied again. That energy is gonna come up around again. So I guess one of the modes of advice here is just that when that time comes, hunker down. I feel this guy sitting in this tree gives me the energy of like, stand your ground, because this is a flow of energy. It ebbs, it flows. Sometimes you feel like crap. You wake up and you're just like, I hate everything today. And then other days you wake up and you're like, are there extra birds out there singing for me? Just for me? You know, that's just the nature of life. So there's going to be ebbs and flows. You're not just going to be riding this high forever on this feeling that, you know, things are just great all the time. So if you just are prepared, I think that's what the message is. Be prepared that that feeling will come on. Don't put any fear behind it. It's not something to be afraid of. In fact, once you come up to that and you have that, it's kind of like dipping off into the next cycle, refreshing that cycle, bringing more relief to that cycle. I also feel like it strengthens your ability to reestablish the fact that you want to keep doing this at all either. 7 of Pentacles is very that. It's like, well, this is how long it takes to do this. Do I really want to keep doing this? Is this like my thing now? You know, there's chances to reevaluate all the time. And also, this is just showing me, don't let your pride get in the way of knowing when to walk away when it's the right time, or having enough pride in yourself and belief in yourself to push forward, because that is the one thing. The 6 of Swords is giving me that right now. It says, I've had this belief in myself, and then it created a lot more communication and harmony in the people now that I surround myself with, because I alone had this energy that was like, I'm doing this. And when you have a car going down the road, are you going to say, no, you can't go that way, and push it off? You know, like, you become this force and you have enough weight behind. Like, I feel like there's a lot of baggage here, but this is baggage that it's like, there's a lot of weight behind this decision that you've made. You made a pretty, you know, risk equals reward type energy happen in your life. And I feel like you're going to be getting that. It's just, it might not feel like it's going to happen right away. You might ride a honeymoon phase for a little while and then it might dip off, but just be aware of the ebb and the flow. Okay? And then also the little changes, the little petty things that come up along the way when you have your own business. It's just like one thing after another. So just be prepared. I feel like there's a lot of things that you can take stock of, you know, write a lot of things down. Just prepare for this journey. She just looks very prepared. She has all her bags labeled with these swords. It's like, I know these are my bags. I know what's in my bags. I am geared up. I mean, I even see her in like waders, like her job that she's going to involves being in the water somehow. Both of those could be some tall boots, but I'm just saying, like, there's a preparedness to this. I feel like also her ponytail here braided over to the right, it's kind of symbolizing to me that the feminine aspect of that hair being gathered is put on the right side, which is that masculine side of us going forward, driving forward. She's mixing those two aspects together. Because with both of those things, that's what's going to make the journey smooth. Because then you can identify and relate to the people that you run into, and on and on and on. Well, let's go ahead and get you a mushroom cards here. All right, we have blue pink gill, rarity. And that one coming through. Oh wow, that one came through again. So you guys got the double healing message too. Yeah, a lot of healing in the collective. I feel you know, it comes in waves, but I feel like we're collectively as humans, this is the most healing and, you know, self-help stuff that's really been out. And I mean, we're at kind of a peak at that, I guess, and there's so many ways to do it. So that's one thing I feel like I'm being guided to say, that don't feel that just because there is an oversaturation in the market of healing right now, that you will not be a beautiful facet to that. So I just feel like there is always something new to be offered, and really that kind of work, it's about your personal energy. You vibe or you don't vibe, right? I mean, if you like the way I talk and you want to watch my videos, then you're gonna do that. But if you don't like the way I talk, you're not gonna watch my videos. I mean, plain and simple, like, no hard feelings. I'm not taking it personally. Like, who cares? Like, if we don't vibe, you don't vibe. And I'm feeling like that. Like, you'll find your place where you need to be. And it might not, you might, you know, let that enthusiasm get a hold of you because it's kind of building stuff in the beginning. It's giving you the energy and the drive. And also I feel like you've built something from a storage of energy from resisting conflict from a place in the past or a place at home. And we have the bluegill pink with the rarity. Yeah, I also feel here with this, there's something that is very special and unique about your process that you're going to be doing. And if you resonated with that masculine message, if you're a masculine watching this, I feel like that might be one of the rarities just specifically to your area or something like that. Maybe you're one of the only men who does that specific type of healing work in that area, and it's very valuable to everyone around you. So, all right. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me in this and being here right now with me. And I hope you guys get into a good flow here. You get where you're going, and you can really embrace that energy that Spirit here is offering you to be in a peaceful place to accept healing that's coming in. All right. Have a lovely day. Come back and see me soon.